I would like to explain about the definition of emotion and attitude first. So, what is emotion? Emotion can be detected by psychological and physiological that experience towards an object, person, or event that create a state of readiness. Let's look how emotion can be detected to psychological. Okay, in terms of psychological, the emotion can be expressed by our feelings, such as angry towards some things that you don't like people do. However, emotion also can be detected by psychological that expressed by our behavior. As example, someone who have a problem with co-workers, it will create something unwanted things towards them, such as they will fight to each other. Next is attitude. Attitude can be defined as the cluster of belief, feelings, and behavioral intentions toward an object. Belief is what you believe to be true. Example that I give here is, you believe that a person who gets the dean list can be a role model to other students. Second one is feelings. Feelings is the way you feel towards something, either it will positive or negative. As example, some people might think that Grab is cheaper than taxi, but some people are not thinking like that. Lastly are behavioral intentions that represent your motivation in a particular behavior. As example, you might plan to buy a new laptop for further your study, but then you buy the things like iPad. What are the difference between emotions and attitude? Emotion is an experience that related to our feelings, and usually the experience is just for a second or less. The example that I give here is bored, stressful, and more. So from the example, we know that ourselves is getting stressed, so we decide to take a few days for ourselves to have a me time to release our stress. It means here is the feelings that we feel just in short time. However, attitude is more to judgment about an attitude, and it usually stable for days or longer. As example, confident. Next part is connective process. The connective process, it is start from environment, where it divided into two components, which are attitude and emotional process. For attitude components, they have three elements, which are belief, feelings, and behavior. However, under emotional components, they have a few types of emotional, such as stressful, unhappy, excited, and tired. From these two components, we can process our behavior. As example, when we are tired, our behavior becomes different in terms of the way we treat someone. For example, we don't talk much as usual, we become lazy, and it may be to be hot-tempered. What is cognitive dissonance? The definition of cognitive dissonance is a psychological tension occurs when people perceive an inconsistency between their belief, feelings, and behavior. As example that I have been stated there, you consider that you an animal lover who love to eat meat, but at the same time you are enjoying the taste of meat itself, but you feel guilty to eat. So, due to this problem, it has a way to solve, but you decided to buy less meat and change it to other kind of food, such as tofu or tempeh. In the easy way to understand what is cognitive dissonance itself is you already know that kind of things will affect your health as example, but you still do those things. As example, smoking, where it will give an effect to your health, but then you still smoking. That's all from me, and I would like to pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Let's move to another parts of workplace attitude under job satisfaction. Job satisfaction can be related to a person's evaluation of his or her job and work context. Besides, it also refers to a feeling of people have towards their job. There is one quote that related to job satisfaction in terms of organizational behavior, which is, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. You may have heard this quote before, yet it's still relevant still today. Going a little deeper and fast forwarding to this century, job satisfaction can be defined as the feeling and perception of an employee regarding his or her work and how he or she feels well in organization. In order to discuss more about the job satisfaction in the context of organizational behavior, there are several factors that can influence job satisfaction. Firstly, atmosphere in the team and office. This is because you often see and speak to your colleague. A pleasant atmosphere and good relationship have a major influence on job satisfaction. Next, another factor that can influence job satisfaction is work-life balance. Right balance will keep you motivated and keep you productive. When you can clearly indicate the boundary between work and private life of your staff, you can run less risk of stress. Last but not least, flexible working and autonomy also can influence job satisfaction. As we know, we all want feeling of freedom and being able to make our own decision. When you get the feeling that you are trusted and that you have control over your own work, which lead to the job satisfaction occur. Okay, next, we will proceed to the benefit of job satisfaction. As we know, when job satisfaction occur in the organizational behavior, it can lead to increase the profit of the organization itself, which lead to the higher sales, lower costs, and stronger bottom line of the management. Next, another benefit of job satisfaction is higher productivity. As we know, when an employee gets satisfied with the job they done, it will lead to higher productivity, and at the same time, it will lead the employee to produce more and do the work more efficiently. Other than that, another benefit that we can get from job satisfaction is lower turnover. This will help the employee less likely to leave and help recruit better quality talent, as new talent see their employees' staying power as added value. This is why job satisfaction really important in the organization itself, because it will related to both parties, which included employee and the employer itself. Okay, next we will move to the parts of response to dissatisfaction. When we discuss job satisfaction, it is necessary to understand the acronym of EVLN model, which refer to exit, voice, loyalty, and neglect. The EVLN model identifies 4 different ways that employees respond to dissatisfaction. First one is exit. It includes leaving the organization, transferring to another work department or unit, or trying to get away from the dissatisfying situation. It is important to understand that specific shock events quickly energize employees to think about leaving the organization and engage themselves in exit behavior. Next is voice. This can be a constructive response, for instance, recommending ways to improve the conflict situation, or even filing formal grievance or making a coalition in order to oppose a decision. Third one is loyalty. Normally, loyal professionals are employees who respond to dissatisfaction by patiently waiting. The loyal associates can suffer in silence for days, months, or even years without clear problem resolution. Last but not least, neglect. Neglect means lacking in diligence. It includes reducing work effort, paying less attention to service quality, increase in absenteeism, and lateness. This type of behavior has negative consequences for the organization. If continued, the negative impacts related to this work behavior are enormous, which decline in productivity, directly affects the financial performance of organization, less innovation, which paralyzes the future of company and puts its own survival at risk. Next, we move to organizational commitment. What is organizational commitment? Organizational commitment refers to the level of engagement and dedication team members feel toward their individual jobs and the organization. It also describes the different reasons professionals remain with an employer rather than seek opportunities elsewhere. There are 3 types of organizational commitment, which the first one is effective commitment. Effective commitment refers to the psychological connection that an individual has with organization. It describes team members who want to further their involvement with the company and play an active role in its development because they enjoy their work. Team members in this scenario often have high job satisfaction, passion for their role, and dedication to the company. Signs of effective commitment include willingness to achieve organizational goals, desire to contribute to company progress, motivation to perform effectively, and participation in team meetings and discussion. Second type of organizational commitment is continuous commitment. Continuous commitment results from team members analyzing their current situation and deciding that remaining in a job is their best option. Often, they conclude they should stay with a company because their benefits or future opportunities depend on their current employment. For instance, an individual might stay with a company long-term to receive retirement benefits. Lastly is a normative commitment. Normative commitment is when an individual continues at a job because they feel that they have a duty or responsibility to their organization. This type of commitment can make individuals feel indebted to the employer and motivate them to stay as repayment for the company's investment in their development. Team members influenced by normative commitment might stay at a job because leaving would affect company operations, the company has trained them and supported their professional growth, the organization rewards their efforts adequately, and the company has treated them positively and respectfully. Why is the commitment important? So here are some benefits of commitment within an organization. First one is it can increase the team member retention. High levels of organizational commitment encourage team members to remain with their employer for a longer period, reducing turnover rates. Committed team members may see the organization as an important part of their life or as an exceptional professional opportunity. They therefore may choose to focus on growing their career with the company rather than moving to another one. Next, commitment is important because it can boost the productivity. Enhanced organizational commitment also can increase productivity when the individual identify with their company's goal. They may more readily dedicate their best effort to them. Specifically, they might remain on task and proactively look for ways to accomplish as much as possible. This can lead to higher output and help the company achieve positive results. Other than that, it also enhances organizational performance. When professionals want to contribute their best idea and effort to their team, employers receive the benefit of their talent and perspective. Rather than simply meeting expectations, committed individuals may aim to exceed them and contribute to the future of the company. If management cultivates and rewards commitment, it often inspires individuals to follow others' example and improve their performance as well. Last but not least, commitment is important because it can improve the company's reputation. Team members who feel truly invested in the company's mission often serve as its best representative. Their authentic commitment to their work support the positive message they share with potential hires, other business and clients. When this audience believe a company deserves its team members' commitment, they can enter working relationship trusting that their partner is responsible, fair and collaborative. Here are some tips to improve organizational commitment. First method that the organization itself can do is to create a strong teamwork culture. Building a strong teamwork culture facilitates a healthy work environment. No two employees in an organization can be exactly the same. When people come from different backgrounds, there will be difference in the way they see and perceive things, and the same holds true when people work in a team. However, if an organization promotes a culture of team building, employees will be motivated to work together and achieve more. This will help boost their commitment levels and create a long-term work culture harmony. The second one is communicate clear goals and expectations to the employees. Most employees want to be a part of an irresistible future. They want to know what is most important in their job and how can they achieve excellence in their job. For objectives to have meaning and be effective, employees should be communicated clearly the goals and expectations of the management. Employees, when they feel a sense of ownership, tend to stay longer with an organization. Next, how to build organizational commitment in the organization itself is it can be transparent and encourage open communication. Let employees be participative in what is happening within the organization, as well as how they can contribute more towards the development of the organization. When an organization is transparent with its employees and share numbers and figures with them, there are greater chances that employees feel value and increased sense of belonging, thus improving the performance of employees through transparency. Other than that, they can also maintain work ethics. Employees would want to feel good about the organization they are working with. Having high standards of work ethics make employees feel motivated and respectful towards the organization. When employees know that an organization has high morale, they stay associated with the organization. Good work ethics assures any employee that they have an equal playing field in the organization to perform and to grow their careers. Moreover, they can also develop trust in the organization. When an employee started developing trust among themselves as well as leadership, it is a positive sign of organizational development. Employees constantly watch the organization's leadership for motivation and example, learn decision-making skill, and how it helps strategic change within the organization and if their behavior reflect what they see. Next, we can provide constructive feedback and not criticism. Employees should be provided with constructive feedback whenever needed. They should be appreciated for what they are doing good, which will help them raise their morale. Tell employees when they are wrong, but do more tell them why it's wrong and above all how to do better. There is a difference between criticism and constructive feedback. Criticism only tells what's wrong. Constructive feedback tells you what is wrong, why is it wrong, and how to get it right. In order to build organizational commitment in the organization itself, the employer can offer incentive. When an employee performs exceptionally well, organization need to value his or her contribution. In such case, it is a good idea to offer incentive to the employee to recognize his or her good work and dedication. If the organization wants employees to have sufficient work commitment, it is essential that management reward them appropriately as different things motivate different people.
Chapter 5 Motivation at a Workplace. Definition of motivation is the forces within a person that affect his or her direction, intensity, and persistence of voluntary behavior. Direction refers toward achieving particular goals. Intensity refers to the willingness to put effort to achieve the goal. Persistence refers to the amount of time taken to achieve such goal. We go for the challenge of motivating employees. The first one, revise employment relationship. Brings mean potentially undermine trust and commitment in organization. The second one, flatter organization, can cause fewer supervisors to monitor performance as they want to cut the cost higher supervisor to make sure employee behavior in harmony. The second one, fairer organization. Fewer supervisors to monitor performance as they want to cut the cost. The third one, changing workplace. The different timeline, Gen X and Gen Y bring different expectations. Thus, is it hard to motivate the older to change into something new? We got 4 type need-based story. The first one is Maslow hierarchy of needs. This hierarchy starts with the survival issue, basic need, then the security mirror, and move into a more complex human need. This Maslow category can cover all needs because every people have different need hierarchies. Next, need-based theory, ERG. The E, R, and G stand for the 3 basic need categories, which is existence, relatedness, and growth. The difference between Maslow and ERG theory, a rigid hierarchy of need to be followed while another has no rigid and needs to be satisfied for ERG. E stands for need for basic material. R stands for the aspiration individual have for maintaining significant interpersonal relationship, being accepted by others as a member or others. G stands for need for self-development and personal growth and advancement. Conclusion, the ERG theory is flexible as individuals do not have to follow a specific hierarchy. Thus, an individual can work on higher order needs, grow needs, even if his lower needs, existence or relatedness need, remain unsatisfied. The third need-based theory, McClelland, acquire needs model. This theory states human behavior is affected by 3 needs: need for achievement, need for power, and need for affiliation. Need for achievement accomplished in relation to a set of standards. Is it a desire to complete a task more effectively than before? Second, need for power, the desire to influence other individual behavior. Is it a desire to have control over others and to be influential? Need for affiliation, need for open and sociable interpersonal relationship. Is it desire for relationship based on cooperation and mutual understanding? For example, people who have a strong need for affiliation desire a friendly and supportive environment. The cons, people who are motivated by affiliation tends to make poor decisions at work as they enjoy more harmonious relate among co-workers. The last need-based theory, based on innate drive to acquire, bond, learn, and define that incorporate both emotion and rational. Drive A, achieve and acquire. This drive is met when companies have a total reward system. For example, recognition inconsistently given for outstanding performance. For the drive B, bond and belong. This drive is mostly met through an organization culture. This drive is fulfilled when organization culture is one that encourages that development and friendship bonding. Drive C, challenge and comprehend. This drive is fulfilled primarily through job and organization structure. Organization need to ensure that the various job role within the company provide employees with stimulation that challenge them or allow them to grow. Job role that satisfy this drive should learning offering like training, seminar, and others that provide employees with a new skill and knowledge. The last drive, which is drive D, define and defend. This drive is made mostly through an employee feeling alignment and the connection to the organization. This can be done through a company vision or reputation and their performance management system. Organizations that have a strong vision and positive reputation in the marketplace can help create the element with the employees. The company should be perceived to be providing a value service or a good as an example. The conclusion for this story is important to understand that all the good work that a company or leader does in these 4 areas because it can be ruined if just one of the 4 drive is a little like type of reward in workplace. Membership and seniority. Membership and seniority based reward, if you give them a fixed wage, they will work for a long time and seniority will increase. The advantage from this base reward, seniority-based compensation can reduce turnover. The cons may act as a golden handcuff. The second one, job status-based reward. include a job evaluation and status benefit. The advantage from this base reward, it can increase the competition for promotion. The cons, they prioritize their own job over the customer. The third base reward, which is competency. Pay increase with the competency acquired and demonstrate. The pros of this base reward create a more flexible and high quality workforce. The cons, higher training costs for the skill they are learning. The last base reward, which is performance based reward. This include organization, team, and individual reward. Conclusion for chapter 5. A motivated employee is a valuable asset which can provide enormous value to the organization within maintain and strengthen the business and income growth. If they are not driven properly, management cannot reach them organization goal easily. Therefore, effective motivational technique need to be practiced in the workplace.
Work-related stress. Before we can understand what work-related stress is, we must know first about what is stress. According to McShane and Von Glino, stress can be described as an adaptive response to a situation that is perceived as challenging or threatening to the person's well-being. There are 4 sources or causes of work-related stress. First is organizational constraints. Organizational constraints make most employees stressed because it interferes with task performance, threatening their reward and job security. This stressor includes a lack of necessary equipment, funding, and co-worker support. Second is interpersonal conflict. In simple words, employees having a disagreement about how to achieve their organizational goals. They may compete with each other and unconsciously forget to work together. Because of that, it will hinder the progress to achieve their goals. Third is work overload. Work overload is a situation where employees are expected to put in more work than they can handle in the allocated amount of time. The impact is it will consume more of employees' personal time to get the job done. Last but not least is low task control. Low task control means that employees cannot control over how and when they do their job, as well as control over the speed of work activity.
On the work non-work stressor. First is time-based conflict. It refers to challenge of balancing time demanded by work with family and other non-work activities. Reasons may be longer working hours, inflexible work schedules, business travels, and rotating shift. Next is strain-based conflict. It occurs when stress of one domain spills over to the other, such as financial difficulties. Third, role behavior conflict. It occurs when people are expected to act differently at work than in non-work roles. At workplace, acts logically and impartially but more compassionate behavior in personal lives. Stress management strategies. Many people deny stress until it causes major problems. To prevent this, first one, employees and employees should remove the stressor. Assigning people to positions that fit their skills and interests, decreasing excessive workplace noise, having a complaint system that corrects harassment, and providing employees more control over the work process are popular approaches to reduce stress. Second, withdraw from the stressor. Removing the stressor is generally impractical. Remove personnel from the stressor. Permanent withdrawal happens when employees are transferred to better fitting positions. Third, change stress perception. How people perceive a stressor affects their stress level. Consider 2 employees are given a challenging project. One employee is distressed because the duty hinders career success. The other employee feels stressed because the task is a personal challenge. Personal traits affect how employees view stresses. The last one is receive social support. Co-workers, family members, friends, and others provide social support to reduce stress. Social support boosts optimism and self-confidence by making people feel valued and valuable. Social support also helps people interpret, understand, and remove stresses. To conclude, this chapter is very important because it shows us how to recognize work-related stress in ourselves and in other people in the same organization. This helps us make sure that we have good relationship with our employees and employers in the work environment. So that's all from us.